When it comes to superhero games, Insomniac Games is undoubtedly one of the best studios in the industry right now. Over the past few years, they've proven again and again that they truly understand how to bring comic book characters to life in a way that feels cinematic, emotional, and incredibly fun to play. From storytelling to combat design, Insomniac has basically set the gold standard for superhero games. Right now, the studio is working on Marvel's Wolverine, and from everything we've seen so far, the game looks absolutely stunning. Wolverine is a much darker and more brutal character compared to Spider-Man, and Insomniac seems to be fully embracing that tone. The combat system is rumored to be more grounded and visceral, with gameplay mechanics that feel somewhat similar to God of War, focusing on close quarters combat, heavy hits, and raw aggression. This direction makes perfect sense for Wolverine, as he's not about gadgets or web slinging, he's about claws, rage, and survival. What makes this even more interesting is the fact that Wolverine is set in the same universe as Insomniac's Spider-Man game. That means it's very likely we'll see connections to the broader Marvel world they're building. There's a strong possibility of cameos or references to other X-Men characters, and maybe even subtle ties to Spider-Man itself. Insomniac clearly has long-term plans for this shared universe, and Wolverine feels like a major pillar of that vision. On top of Wolverine, Insomniac is also working on a Venom-focused game, reportedly titled Lethal Protector. This project has generated a lot of excitement, especially after Venom's incredible presence in Spider-Man 2. Originally, the game was officially planned for a 2026 release, but according to reports, it has now been delayed to the following year. The main reason for this delay appears to be the cancellation of Spider-Man 2's DLC. Instead of releasing standalone DLC expansions, Insomniac decided to rework major story elements and move them into a full Venom game. This actually makes a lot of sense from a narrative standpoint. A standalone Venom title works much better as a bridge between Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, allowing the studio to tell a more complete and focused story without being constrained by DLC limitations. This decision becomes even more logical when you consider Carnage. Originally, Carnage was expected to appear in Spider-Man 2 DLC, but with those plans scrapped, it's highly likely that Carnage's storyline has been moved directly into the Venom game. Given Carnage's importance to Venom's mythos, this feels like the right move. A full game gives Insomniac the time and space needed to do justice to such a dangerous and iconic villain. There's also been a lot of discussion about cut content from the Venom storyline. The late Tony Todd, who voiced Venom, reportedly recorded a massive amount of dialogue for the character. Before his passing, he even mentioned that only around 10% of his recorded lines were actually used in the base game. That alone tells us how ambitious Insomniac's original plans were. Because of this, we can expect the Venom game to be much larger and deeper than initially imagined. Several symbiotes are rumored to appear, including Lasher, Riot, Agony, and Phage, potentially acting as mini boss fights throughout the game. This would not only expand Venom's world, but also add much more gameplay variety, giving players unique combat encounters and challenges. At the same time, Insomniac is also quietly working on Marvel's Spider-Man 3, which is expected to be the final chapter in the franchise. This game is reportedly being developed by Brian Inhar's team, and interestingly, it seems like the Spider-Man 3 team is collaborating behind the scenes with the Venom team to ensure everything lines up perfectly within the shared timeline. Based on current reports and industry expectations, Marvel's Spider-Man 3 will likely release around 2028 and could potentially be a PlayStation 6 launch or early generation title. If that's the case, Insomniac may be aiming to push the series even further with next-gen technology, bigger worlds, and more ambitious storytelling. Story-wise, there's already a lot we know, or at least strongly suspect, about Spider-Man 3. The game is expected to feature major villains such as Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, and Chameleon, with a possibility that Carnage could also play a role, depending on how the Venom game ends. This lineup alone suggests a much darker and more intense story compared to previous entries. Another major element is Silk. Her character arc has been teased, and there's strong speculation that she will be a playable character in Spider-Man 3. This would add another layer to the gameplay, similar to how Miles Morales expanded the experience in earlier titles. Speaking of Miles, we already know that Peter Parker took a hiatus at the end of Spider-Man 2, leaving Miles to protect the city. Spider-Man 3 is expected to explore how Miles has been holding up during that time, while also marking Peter Parker's return as the main Spider-Man. This dynamic could lead to some powerful character-driven moments, especially if Peter comes back facing new personal struggles or responsibilities. Finally, it's worth mentioning that Insomniac also had plans for a live service multiplayer game called Marvel's Spider-Man: The Great Web. This project was designed to feature online elements and cooperative gameplay, but it has since been canceled. The decision reportedly came after internal evaluations showed that the live service model might not succeed, especially with competition from other Marvel multiplayer titles already in development. In the end, this cancellation might actually be a good thing. It allows Insomniac to fully focus on what they do best: single-player story-driven superhero games. With Wolverine Wolverine Venom, and Spider-Man 3 all in development, the future of Insomniac's Marvel Universe looks incredibly strong. Now let me know your thoughts on all of this. Are you excited about Wolverine in the Venom game? And what are your expectations for Spider-Man 3? If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe for more news and updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.